I want to talk to you today about a series of mine called Brigadier Station. 4 books, steamy cowboy romances, the kind of series I poured years into. And from those 4 books, I've built 5 separate income streams in multiple formats. In multiple languages, I translate and upload myself, sold in different places all over the world. Same stories, same characters, the same words I sat down and wrote once. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're starting out. The thing I wish someone had said to me plainly years ago. The book is not the asset. The book is the seed. The asset is everything you decide to build around it. So today I'm pulling the curtain all the way back. I'm going to show you exactly how one cowboy romance series became a catalogue that earns in more ways than I can count on one hand. And by the time we're done, I want you looking at your own books completely differently. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Right Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling romance author, book coach, and founder of Serenade Publishing. I've been an avid reader ever since I could hold a book, and I've spent a decade immersed in the world of writing, editing, and publishing fiction. I know firsthand what it takes to turn a love of storytelling into a sustainable, soul-aligned author career. Each week, I share real talk about writing fiction, marketing smarter, and staying inspired, along with up-to-date industry insights and the strategies that are working right now. You'll also hear from fellow authors, editors, and industry experts who are out there doing the work and making waves. Here, we put the woo in the work of writing, publishing, and growing your author business. Think of this as your creative business pep talk, packed with heart, hustle, and a little bit of magic. So get cozy and join me. Your writing journey starts now. Welcome back to the Right Podcast. It's so good to have you here with me today. This is one of my favorite kinds of episodes to record because I get to be specific, not theoretical, not here's what successful authors do in general. Specific. My books, my decisions, my numbers, the actual mechanics of how a series works for me long after the writing is finished. And I want to say something right here at the top because it matters to me. I'm going to talk about money today, openly, without flinching, and without dressing it up. Because women authors get handed a lot of inspiration and almost none of the actual machinery. We get told to follow our passion and write from the heart, and all of that is true, and none of it pays your mortgage. So we're going to talk about the business, the real unglamorous, beautiful business of turning books into income. Quick bit of context if you're new here. Brigadier Station is a 4-book, steamy cowboy romance series of mine. The first book, Brothers of Brigadier Station, also happens to be the free book I give away to bring readers into my world, into my newsletter. So that first book is doing double duty before we even start counting. It's a product and it's a doorway. Hold that thought because we'll come back to it. Here's the promise for today. By the end of this episode, you're going to have a way of looking at a single series, maybe even a single book, and seeing every single piece it can earn for you. 5 streams. Let me walk you through all of them, from the foundation right up to the frontier. Before the streams, I need you to make one shift with me, because if you don't make this shift, the rest of this episode just sounds like a list of things I happened to do. Most authors think, I wrote a book, past tense, one thing, done. An author CEO thinks, I created an asset and now I'm going to package it, repackage it, and sell it in many forms to many readers in many places for years. One set of words, many products, and here's the part that took me a while to really feel in my body. Each one of those products reaches a reader the others can't. The woman who buys the paperback to put on her shelf is not the woman downloading the ebook at midnight, who is not the woman listening on her morning walk, who is not the woman reading in Germany, reading it in her own language. These aren't the same sale counted differently. They're different readers, different money, different doors. So I want you to stop counting books. Start counting income lines. That's the whole game. That's catalogue thinking. And it's exactly the kind of mindset shift I work on with the women inside my Author CEO mentorship. Because once you see your books this way, you genuinely can't unsee it. 5 streams. Let's go. Stream 1. The core formats, ebook and paperback, available wide. This is the foundation. It's also where most authors stop, and it's where the whole philosophy starts. Let me define one word, because I use it a lot and I never want to assume. Wide. When I say a book is available wide, I mean it's for sale across all the major retailers. Amazon, yes, but also Kobo, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Google, all of them. Not locked in a single platform, not tied to one company's rules. And I chose wide for this series on purpose because I don't want to rent my business from one retailer. I want to own my distribution and my reader relationships everywhere. If one platform changes its terms tomorrow, and they do change their terms, I'm not lying awake about it. My readers can find me in a dozen places. Now here's the bit I really want to land. Ebook and paperback are not one income stream, they're two. I know they feel like the same book in different shapes, but follow the money. Different readers, different price points, different profit margins, different buying moments entirely. The ebook reader wants it now, tonight, instantly. The print reader wants the object. She wants it on the shelf. She wants to lend it to her sister. She wants to feel it. Same story, two completely separate purchases, and a lot of readers buy both. 4 books in the series in 2 core formats, all available wide. That's the foundation. And remember, book 1 is also my free lead magnet, so my foundation stream is always top of my funnel. The free book sells the next 3. The doorway is part of the building. Stream 2, audio. 3 audiobooks plus the set. Audio is the fastest growing format in fiction right now, and I want you to hear why that matters for you. Audio reaches a reader who will never ever read it with her eyes. The commuter, the walker, the woman with her hands in the dishwasher and her earbuds in. You're not competing for her reading time because she doesn't have any. You're claiming her listening time, which is completely separate. The first 3 books of Brigadier Station are available in audio, and I had them narrated by Logie-nominated Australian actor Myles Pollard. Now, that was a decision, and I want to frame it as the business decision it actually was. Bringing in a recognized narrator is an investment. It costs real money up front, but it's also a marketing asset. A known voice gives the series a reach and a credibility that I could not give it narrating it myself in my kitchen. The voice is part of the product and it's part of the promotion. Let's be honest about audio economics for a second, because this is where asset thinking gets real. Audiobooks cost you up front and then they pay you back over years. You spend once and the thing earns indefinitely. That is the entire principle of an asset, sitting right there in a set of audio files. And here's a clever piece. The 3 audiobooks also exist as a set, same recording bundled together, and on Audible, that set is a single credit. Now think about what that does. A subscriber gets 1 credit a month. She's sitting on that credit, deciding what to spend it on. And here are 3 of my books for the price of that 1 credit. That's easy, yes. That's almost no friction at all. The lesson there is bigger than my books, so write it down. How you package a product on a platform changes how readily people buy it. The one credit set isn't just a convenience for the reader, it's a deliberate sales move. Same files I already had, repackaged so the packaging itself does the selling. And one honest note, because I want you to see how a catalogue actually behaves. Book 4 isn't an audio yet. That's not a failure. That's a built-in next move. A catalogue is a living thing. It always has a next decision waiting in it. It's never a finished monument. And that's a good thing because it means there's always somewhere to grow. Stream 3, the ebook box set. This one is the purest example I have of a principle I want tattooed on your brain. Do the work once, sell it more than once. The first 3 books are bundled into an ebook box set, available wide. And here's what I did to make the box set. Nothing. No new writing, no new recording. I took 3 files that all already existed and I packaged them into one product. Why do box sets work so well? 2 reasons. First, they make the decision easier for a brand new reader. Instead of, do I risk one book by an author I don't know? It's, I get the whole opening arc in one go. Lower risk, more story, one click. Second, and this is the part for you, it raises your average order value. A reader who was going to buy 1 book buys 3 instead. She's delighted because she got a deal. You're delighted because you sold 3. Nobody loses. That's the quiet magic of a box set. It's a value play for the reader and a volume play for you, sitting inside the exact same transaction. And it's a brilliant thing to put on promotion, to feature in a newsletter, to use as a centerpiece of a sale. It does a lot of heavy lifting for something that cost me nothing extra to create. This, by the way, is the kind of thing I'm always pointing out to my mentoring clients. The income that's already sitting in your existing work, just waiting to be repackaged. You've often already done the hard part, you just haven't rebundled it yet. Stream 4, the Premium Direct Edition, and this is the most important one. Everything I've told you so far is available wide, out in the world, on all the platforms, but this one is different. This one is mine alone, and it's the single most important strategic lesson in this whole episode. I have a special edition, all 4 books of the Brigadier series in one volume. Foil-covered, sprayed edges, a genuinely beautiful object. The kind of book a reader wants to hold and display and own. And I sell it in exactly 2 places. My own direct store and in person at book signings. Nowhere else. You cannot get it on Amazon. You cannot get it on any retailer, only through my own front door. Now let me tell you why, because the why is everything. When I sell that edition direct, I keep the margin that the retailer would otherwise take. There's no platform clipping, it's percentage off the top of every sale. So that special edition is, by a wide distance, the most profitable copy of Brigadier Station I sell anywhere in the world. The same stories I'm selling wide for a modest ebook price are in this form a premium product, earning premium margin straight to me. But it's not just the money, and I need you to hear this part. When I sell direct, I own the relationship. I have that reader's email address. I know who she is. I can tell her about the next book myself without paying anyone for the privilege of reaching my own reader. That data, that direct line to the people who love my work, is worth as much as the margin, maybe more. And at signings, this edition becomes a destination. People come to the table specifically for the beautiful thing they cannot get anywhere else. It's not just a book on a stack, it's the reason they walked over. So here's the principle, and I want every author listening to take this one seriously. You should have at least one thing you sell only through your own front door, at least one. Because wide builds your reach and direct builds your wealth and your relationships. You want both. And the painful truth is that most authors only ever build the first one. They go wide, they stop, and they hand every reader relationship they'll ever have to a retailer. Don't be most authors. This right here is a huge piece of what I do inside the Author CEO Mentorship, helping women build the direct side of their business, the part they actually own, instead of renting their entire creative livelihood from platforms that don't know their name. Stream 5, Translations, the frontier and the part I'm proudest of. This is where the catalogue thinking gets genuinely thrilling. The same 4 books earning in entirely new markets from readers who would never in 100 years have found me in English. And here is the part I really want you to hear clearly, because it's a permission shift for a lot of people. I do not sell my foreign rights to anybody. I'm translating these books and uploading them myself. Bookwire distributes them wired for me, so I kept my rights. Bookwire distributes them wired for me, so I kept my rights, I kept my earnings, and I stay in control of my own books in every single language. The old story about going global goes like this. You wait and you hope, and maybe one day a foreign publisher offers you a deal for your translation rights, and you sign them over, and they run with it, and you get a slice. And for some authors, that's a great path, but it's a gate, and most authors assume they'll never get through it. Here's the truer story now. You can go global on your own terms, the same way you self-publish in English. You can self-publish in German, in Italian, in Spanish, in French. You don't need anyone's permission to take your book across a border. My German editions are live right now, and they're wide. A whole new readership opened up from books I finished years ago. And Italian, Spanish, and French are in progress. All of them headed wide. Each one is a new set of retail listings, a new audience, a brand new income line built from work that already exists. Now, I'll be honest about the model because I'm always honest with you about the work. Translation is an investment and it's a longer game. It doesn't pay off overnight, but it multiplies every other stream I've already talked about. A translated book can have its own ebook, its own paperback, eventually its own audio, and even special editions. One series fanning out across the entire world, and all of it is still mine. So here's the mindset gift I want to give you to leave this segment with. Your books do not have an expiry date, and they do not have a border. The frontier is always there for you if you're willing to think like someone who's building an asset instead of someone who wrote a book one time. So let me pull it all together for you. 4 books, 5 income streams, and inside those 5 streams, more than a dozen distinct products, earning across formats, across channels, across languages, all over the world. Ebooks and paperbacks wide, audiobooks in an audio set wide, an ebook box set, a premium edition I sell only through my own door, and translations in a growing list of languages that I create and own myself. From 4 books I wrote once. Now I want to say the quiet part out loud because that's what I'm here for. This is what it looks like when a woman decides her writing is allowed to make real money. Not pin money, not a sweet little side thing. A business, a real one that funds her life and her next book and the one after that. And I know, there's a voice that comes up for a lot of us right around here. The voice that says wanting this much is too ambitious, too commercial, that real writers aren't supposed to think about margins and markets and income streams, that it's a bit much, a bit grabby to want your art to also be your living. I want to be really clear with you. That voice is wrong and it is expensive. It has cost women authors fortunes, and it has cost the world books that never got written because their authors couldn't afford to keep going. You are not greedy for wanting your creative work to be financially sustainable. You're responsible. A series built like this is a series that pays for the next one. It pays you the time to write. It builds the life you actually want, the one you've been a little embarrassed to admit you want. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Want it out loud. And please hear this too, because I don't want you closing this episode feeling behind. Nobody builds all 5 streams at once. I certainly didn't. I built this in layers, over years, one decision at a time. You don't start by going global in 4 languages. You start with one book and one single decision to think bigger about it. That's all. That's the whole beginning. Before you go, if something lit up in you while you were listening to this episode, if you found yourself realizing you've been treating your books like finished projects instead of living assets, then I want you to know that this is the work we do inside the Author CEO Mentorship. It's 4 months, it's one-on-one, just you and me, and we map the whole thing out together. Your catalogue, your formats, your channels, the direct side of your business that you actually own, and that income model that genuinely fits your life and the books you want to write. We build you a plan, not a vague hope. It's by application because I keep it small and I give every woman my full attention. You can find all the details and apply at serenadepublishing.com/the-author-CEO. And that link is sitting in the show notes for you, so you don't even have to remember it. I read every application myself. And here's your homework if you'll take it from me. Today, go and look at your very first book, the one that's already out there, or the one you're working on right now, and ask it one question. What else could this become? Sit with that, because the answer is almost always more than you think. Thank you for being with me here today, and I'll see you next week on the Write Podcast. Thanks so much for listening to the Write Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world if you'd leave a review and share the show with your writer friends. It helps more creatives find their way to us. And don't forget to follow Serenade Publishing on Instagram and TikTok for more writing tips, publishing advice, and exciting events to keep you inspired. Keep writing, keep dreaming, and know that I'm here to support you every word of the way.